I think I accidentally became the orb queen a little bit. And if you don't know what that means, the orb stands for Opening Range Breakout. And I made a video a little bit ago about why I like trading the orb and exactly what my rules are. And a lot of y'all liked it. And so I wanted to share kind of some more development that I've done with this. And I'll just summarize a little bit of this and then we'll kind of dive into this indicator. But the reason that I like trading the orb strategy is, especially if I'm having a hard time finding a bias for the day, or I want something just really simple that I know I can get traded kind of as long as the market is moving at all. And maybe I want to add this to kind of my list of trades that I'll take, because some days I really do have a hard time finding those really great momentum trades and breakout trades and a lot of the other strategies that I love to trade. And this one is really old reliable and it's really simple. It's great for beginning traders, and more advanced traders can add all sorts of nuances and other things to it and really make it their own. So I think that the opening range breakout is a really great trade for kind of anyone to work with. And I am doing a lot of continued development with it, including this indicator. And I have this indicator available on TradingView and for NinjaTrader. This video is going to focus more on NinjaTrader, but I do have this available on TradingView as well. So you can go look for that video in my toy box playlist. So if you're brand new to NinjaTrader, I'll get you caught up. If you have questions though, feel free to drop them in the comments, or you can email me, because I do have a NinjaTrader series coming out and I'd love to make sure that we get all of your questions answered. So the way to get this indicator, if you're interested, is just literally on my website at 𝗏𝗏𝗁𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 right to my website at 𝗘𝗵𝗿.com. And I have the information there about both the TradingView indicator and the NinjaTrader indicator and how to get them. And what I do is I just package any of the little tools that I've built for myself. I make available, or at least the ones that I can make available to share. I have those available on my website on a subscription basis, and these NinjaTrader indicators are also available for a lifetime purchase. I don't do that with all of the systems, just based on kind of how their developer platform works, but I am a approved authorized vendor with NinjaTrader, so you can go check me out there. They've already checked me out as well. So after you get access to the script, you'll have a zip file to download. So you'll download that file to your computer, and if you've never installed an indicator before, I'll show you how to do that real quick. And again, if you want to go more in depth, we can do that again later, but this is really easy. So when you open up NinjaTrader on your main window, you'll have something like this. And what you'll want to do is go into your menu here, and in the tools menu, you'll have an import option. So we go to tools, import, and then NinjaScript add-on, and you'll be able to navigate to the script that you want to load there. I already have this loaded, so I can't load that again, but that's how you go ahead and load your very first indicator. So then once you have a chart that you want to add this indicator onto, it's already in your list of indicators in your system after you've done that import. So you can either right click, or you can do Control-I, or of course you can hit the little icon up here that kind of looks like a line chart, and that's going to be where your indicators are. So my indicators should be under this folder called Barbie indicators. Ignore this other stuff. Don't worry about it. We're just looking at the ORB Wrangler right now. And when you double click on that, it'll add it to your list here. And then we have the settings. I'll go through those with you real quick for NinjaTrader. You can ignore these for now. This will actually be gone in a future version, but this next part is pretty important. You need to check the opening range start time. So I like to trade the New York Open, but I'm in Central Time. So the New York Open that happens at 9:30 in New York, 9:30 Eastern US time, is actually going to be at 8:30 my time. So I need to be sure to change that. And I like to trade the 15-minute orb, so I'll be sure to look here at the duration and make sure that that's 15 like I like it. Now let me explain 𝗖 time, and I just had to give a name to something, so I kind of got something on brand here. But the 𝗖 time is how long you want the indicator to basically run until it hits the hay and gets off your screen. So we're going to plot some lines to show the opening range and some targets that we want to work with. So if I only want to look at those lines for the morning session and have them turn off at the rest of the day, where I can just kind of know that that's the time limit that I have to enter an opening range breakout trade, then I'll put that in here. Right now I have it defaulting to the full New York session, but a lot of times I like to just focus on the morning session. And so this is going to be in minutes, and this will make sense in a minute, but this is how long the lines are going to display before they stop displaying. And I like to use that exactly like I had just mentioned, so that I know that I'm not looking for that opening range breakout anymore, because that's outside of the rules that I've created for this system. Okay. Everything else should be good. I wanted to point this out just in case you're not familiar. This auto scale checkbox, and you might run into this with other indicators as well. If you have this checked, it's going to make sure that every bit of the indicator shows on your chart. And we're going to show some extended targets. It's going to go beyond price. So if I'm showing all of that on the chart, it's going to squish my chart down, and I don't really like that. I can probably go ahead and show you. So yeah, so here is the opening range breakout indicator right here. I call it the ORB Wrangler, and you can see we have the bullish targets. But if I have this auto scale selected, it's going to squish it so we can see all of the bear targets as well. And personally, I just don't like that. Maybe you do. That's fine. I'm going to leave that off. So those are the settings for the ORB Wrangler. Of course, let me know if you have any questions, if I skipped over anything important. And just kind of while I'm mentioning improvements and things, I always keep the versions up to date on my website, and it'll have the date that I uploaded it. So if you downloaded a version and it shows that it's from June, and you go on the website and it's like, oh, here's one that's in September, then you know that you have the old version. And, I'm working on getting communication out to everybody, but I do have a little bit of growing pains, so sometimes that's kind of slow sometimes. Okay, so here is the ORB Wrangler, and I'll show you how I trade this. And of course, I did mention I have a full video on the actual strategy that I trade. So this is going to be the fast version of that. There's more details on that, but I'll show you how I use this tool and kind of why I developed it. So this is a 5-minute chart, and this is the ES futures, S&P 500. And in my back testing, you can see that also in the other video, I found that at least right now in this post-COVID Trump presidency era, that we have a lot of morning breakouts, and that's a good way to capture that, especially when you're a newer trader or just want something really, really systematic that you can rely on, is just the opening range breakout trade. So what I do, this is a 5-minute chart, and so we're going to look at the first 3 candles that'll make up the first 15 minutes, because I want to look for the break of the first 15 minutes. It's the opening range that I'm defining is the first 15 minutes, first 3 candles, and so that's these right here. So when that time starts, you can see this is at 8:30, because again, I'm in Central Time, so that's when the New York Stock Exchange opens in my time zone. The indicator is going to start looking for the high and the low. So you'll start seeing this box forming. You won't have the target lines yet, because we don't have the final data to calculate them. So that's one way you can tell that it's not time to look for that trade yet, because these little target lines aren't printing yet. But while these 3 lines are printing, you'll start to see this shaded box, and it'll help you know that we are inside of that opening range, and then it's time to start kind of paying attention. So after the high is put in, you can see we got a new low on this candle, so it dragged this line in this shaded area down. We got a little bit of a new high here, so the box moved up. We didn't get a new high on this 3rd candle, but we did get a new low, so it put in that level there. After these 3 candles are finished forming, then it'll start showing you these lines. And when they first start appearing, it's just going to be on top of this very first next candle that's appearing. So it won't be all the way across your chart like this, but you can start to see where these targets will be, and it'll let you know that the opening range period has completed and we're ready to go. So then you can start to trade this. And I don't wait for the candle close. I found in my back testing, it loses more opportunity for profit than it keeps me out of danger. So I personally don't do that. You can if you want to, but I will literally just take the break of this. So we have the break, and if we don't get the candle close, it doesn't quite light up yellow. So I did give you a little bit of that, but if we get the candle close over, it'll light up yellow like this, but we're just watching for the break of that. And what I'll do is I'll just have a limit order sitting here. So I don't care if I even have that signal yet on the lines there. I'm just literally waiting for that break because I already have a limit order there. I like to put it just a tick or two above and below these lines. We have a lot of range and volatility in these markets where I want to deploy a strategy like this. And I feel really good just knowing that I have a little bit of a buffer there. If I'm trading the NASDAQ, I might give it a few ticks because, you know, we got more ticks in a range on the NASDAQ than we do on the S&P. And then I go ahead and trade it like that. Now, my personal trade is I start with a 1-to-1. So these lines are going to be at half of the range. You can see this is the shaded area is the range here. Oops. Okay, so half of the opening range is going to be this first line here, or this one, this to the bottom down here. And then the next one, that's a 1-to-1. And this is the one that I usually target. And then I put an extended range up there beyond both above and below. So what we're looking for is when we get the break, I'm going to go ahead and put my target right up there on that second line or a tick or two below. So then I have my stop on the other side. It's a 1-to-1 trade. What I like to do, and sometimes this is to my detriment, but especially just to make sure, you know, I don't like to have loss trades. I would rather have a break-even trade than a loss trade. That's just the way my brain works. So what I do is when we get to halfway, I go ahead and trail. So in this particular trigger, I would have been stopped out at break even. And I was actually this morning, I traded this. And then when it came back below, you know, I actually was not interested in the trade at this point. There was also a lot of support down here that I was watching. So I was able to kind of pull some of those other analysis tools and things that I already have and, you know, add it to this system. So that's what I did here. And then look, there's another break later. This is another spot. You can just have that order waiting and you can just let the market come to you and make the trade for you and get in this trade here. This one, fortunately, just went straight up. So you could trail right here with the set of rules that I've given everyone and then take profit up here. And that's really all there is to it. And yes, there are ways that I can potentially automate that, and that's coming. But this is really, really great if you want to trade something like this yourself, and especially to help kind of this helps with trader training, in my opinion. One of the reasons that I really like this trade is you can really wait for patience. You've got the New York Open here and everything's really frantic and everyone's really excited. But here we are just sitting here waiting our time before we get the signal. And so I think that learning that and developing that patience every day is really, really good for traders. But, you know, you don't have to use this. You can use your own tool. You can make this your own, but I am making this available for anyone who wants to use it. And if you want to learn more about the orb trades, I'll just go ahead and make a playlist. Y'all can go nuts. And if I were you, I would subscribe and turn on notifications, because since y'all have loved this orb trade so much, I have some more development that I've done with it. And I'm going to share a lot more backtesting results on some different ways that you can trade this and kind of some different ideas. And definitely check the comments too, because we've had some people share some really great ideas on how they trade it. It's been a great little system for me. I will add that I do use this in prop accounts, and I get a lot of crap for how wide these stops can be. So I just want to remind y'all that no matter what the strategy is, if it's this strategy or anything else, if the risk is too big on a stop loss on a E-mini, then you can always look at the micro E-minis. I really, really like using those with prop accounts. It helps so I can have these really reliable trades that may not otherwise fit into an account like that. And it also gives me some options to scale out sometimes. So be thinking about that, and let us know about your experiences with the orb trade in the comments. And you're welcome to join our Discord. I hope to see you around for the next video and in our chats. All right, love you. Bye.